Hello and welcome to the Deception Tips podcast, where you will learn amazing cues to detect deceit that will help you read people like never before. I'm your host, Spencer Kaufman. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome to Deception Tip episode number 101. Thank you so much for getting this far. This will be the last Deception Tip episode. So, thank you again for getting here. This is great. You've listened to 100 other deception tips. This is 101. Congratulations. You have made it. Let's get started. Let's dive right in. Last week, we talked about how liars may use jargon or details or extra stuff to sound more intelligent. They want to sound smarter and more believable. Remember, the goal of someone who lies, they have several goals, but the main goal is to get the target to believe their lie. Now, not only are they trying to convince the target of their lie, but they're also trying to convince themselves of the lie and those around them. In addition, they are so stressed and so worried because they have to keep the lie straight, remember it all, convince themselves, convince the target. In addition, they're probably trying to lie about something to avoid a consequence or cover something up, so they're also worried about that. Then they're worried about getting caught. Now, if that's not enough, they're worried about the punishment of the lie on top of the crime, if they do get caught. So there is so much going on inside of them. In addition to all of that, they have their conscience telling them lying isn't right. So now they're worried about that. And all of this is boiling up inside of them. It's stress, it's worry, it's tension, it's all of this boiling up, and that's why they display so many of these deception tip signs, this body language. And if you're paying attention, you can see it. So in addition, they will try to use this jargon or these special terms or these details to sound more believable, more credible, and more intelligent than they really are. Why are they doing this? Well, they're doing it because they hope that using all these terms will help other people believe them and that they will get away with this lie. It's like using bigger words or multi-syllable words to try to sound more intelligent. They use this jargon. Now, what you can do is use this jargon against them. Ask them more questions about it, deeper questions about it. Get into more statistics and more facts. How big is the company? When was it made? Do they have any studies? You mentioned XYZ area of the body or the brain. What about this area? Or what does it do for you? Or what does it do in general? How big is it? Where does it look like? Where did the term come from? Is that Latin or Greek? Any questions. It doesn't matter. Ask these questions. Don't ask them in a barrage like I just did for you with boom, 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 rapid fire. No. You want to ask them in terms of sincerity and endearment. So like slow down, ask the question, allow them to respond. Where did that area get its name? Is that a Latin or a Greek term? And they're probably going to tell you they don't know, and then you can move on. And okay, well, we'll have to look that up. Maybe Alexa knows, or something. Siri, Katana, ask Google. Wherever, you can keep going and then ask the next question. Use it as a conversation. Draw it out. And if they start getting very frustrated, remember, you're watching for their emotional responses. If they are genuinely telling you the truth, they will generally be happy that you are asking more questions about it. They will be excited, and they will want to help you learn more. If they are lying to you, then guess what? Chances are they're going to become very frustrated and irritated and defensive. So you're monitoring their emotional response, not really their knowledge here. You could be monitoring their knowledge if you really want to know their knowledge, and if they really do know what they're talking about, then they're probably going to give you all that knowledge. So be ready for that as well. If you're really not interested in the statistics of it all, you might get it. So this week, we're going to talk about another tip. This is, again, the final one. This is an overview tip on signs of deception and how important they are in conversation. It is so important, guys, that you learn these tips. You learn them. Now, if it wasn't important, then I wouldn't be spending so much time on this. Think about it. Think about all the time I'm putting into this to teach you guys this. I've written a couple books. I've written 3 books. A Guide to Deception, Deception Tips, and then Deception Tips Revised and Expanded. Those books, they all take hours and hours. I've got writing, editing, formatting, layout, cover, all this stuff. I mean, we're talking 200 hours a book, and that's not an exaggeration. That's probably even more than that. Then, because I've got Facebook pages, website material for all them. Then, we've got all these podcasts that I'm doing. Each one of these is like a half an hour. Multiply that by 101, baby. That's a lot of time. That's 55 hours roughly. 110 would be 55 hours. But then you talk about posting. That's just editing a half hour and stuff like that. Now we're talking posting, marketing, the page, promoting. So I would say it's, figure 55, 60 hours in this whole thing. Not to mention it's a commitment every single week. I'm loading them up. Now we've got videos in addition to that. 5-minute videos, figure half hour a piece. Boom, we got a lot of time there. I am dedicating a lot of time. This is important. It's very important. I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm doing all this work, it's such a hassle. No, it's important. That's the message I'm trying to convey here. That all of this work is worth it because this is such an important topic for you to learn about. And I hope you realize that. And I hope you see the value. And I hope you share that with your friends and your family. Not just because it's my content and I want you to promote it. No, it's because it is important. So with that, here it is. This is deception tip number 101. Learn to recognize the signs of deception. And remember to watch for clusters of behavior. Liars always display more than one sign. Here it is again. Deception tip number 101. Learn to recognize the signs of deception and remember to watch for clusters of behavior. Liars always display more than one sign. So there are a few things in that tip. You got to watch for clusters of behavior. That is so important. You're looking for patterns here. This isn't just a one thing and done. You're looking for a pattern and a cluster of behaviors. Liars will always display more than one sign. You're looking for clusters. Of course, there's going to be more than one sign. Watch for them. Pay attention to them. Use them to help you learn more about the person and about deception. We're going to talk a lot more about these patterns and clusters and signs of deception and all of this stuff coming up right after this.
Do you have a Facebook account? Of course you do. Like the Deception Tips Facebook page and participate in some online discussion, read more information, write a review, or simply say hello. Like the page today on Facebook.com/Deception Tips Spencer Kaufman.
Welcome back to Deception Tip episode number 101, the final Deception Tip episode. This is exciting. We're talking about how important this is, how important it is for you to understand these signs and recognize these tips so you will learn how to read people and detect deception. Why is it important? Well, do you want to be lied to? Do you want to be taken advantage of by lies? Do you want to be hurt? I hope not. If you do, you probably have some kind of a self-defeating mechanism. Something's wrong with you, sorry to say, but something's wrong. If you want to be hurt and down and broken all the time, something is wrong with you. And you need to talk to somebody about that. Most people don't want to be taken advantage of and worked over and lose their everything on lies. That's why this is so important. This is protecting you, protecting your livelihood, protecting those around you. It's learning how to recognize, how to see through all of this nonsense, because guess what? There are so many people out in this world that are telling lies. Lies are a part of everyday conversation, and everybody is out there to try to take advantage of someone else, to try to work someone else over, to profit, to gain something for themselves, and they don't care who they step on, and they don't care who gets in the way. And you need to see through that, otherwise you're going to be a speed bump on the road. Stand up and be a traffic cone and let them go around you, okay? This is important. Read people, detect deception, show them you're not going to put up with their nonsense, and you're going to see through all that. Because if you don't, you will become that speed bump. And it is also very important to share this with your friends and family, because do you want them to be taken advantage of? No. Share it with them. And if they don't want to learn it and they don't want to understand it, that's their own fault. You can only lead the horse to water. You cannot make them drink. That's the point here. Share it, do your part, and help them. Now, it's also going to be important for you. If you've got some friends, make a study group. If you've got some family that are interested, get together, talk with them. Focus on signs together. Use them as an accountability partner. Hey, remember he said last week to practice XYZ. Did you practice? Have you watched any TV on mute lately? Have you used any of the negotiation tactics? Have you spoken deeper, asked deeper questions that make you seem like you care more? Have you probed and prodded into people's hearts in your conversations lately? Use each other to help you guys learn more about deception and detecting deception. Hey, did you read the last 2 chapters of his book last week? I don't care if you even use my material. Obviously, if you've listened to 101 episodes, you like my material, so I would encourage you to use all of my material. It's not even expensive. All the videos are free. All the podcasts are free. The blog is entirely free. You can read them all there. All that's free. I mean, really, guys, it's all pretty cheap. You can buy the books for like $20. You can get all 3 books depending on where you get them. You can do audiobooks, you can do print, you can do ebook, you can do all 3. You can contact me and I'll even help you out. So the point is, it's not expensive. You're just looking at a time commitment. Give it the time. Learn the material. If you want, you can get on with other people. You can pay a ton of money to take courses from people who are on LinkedIn. There's a very predominant lady on there that sells courses for a ton of money, and it's a lot of money. And yeah, she has some good courses, but the content is the same. And you can get on with practically the founder of Deception Detection. He's got micro-expression training, subtle expression training, sideways training, all kinds of training. His tools are great, but they're going to cost you a fortune. So pay attention. As you learn more, you're obviously going to want to invest more in this skill and learn more. You think about a college degree costing $50,000, and you think about a deception education degree, and it might only cost you a few $100. All right? And the education you're going to get is going to help you so much in life, in negotiation, in skills, everywhere. Think about negotiating with someone. You can read them. You can call through their bluffs. Boom, you got the deal. You're not going to get taken advantage of by the car salesman that sells you this car and it turns out to be a lemon. You're not going to go into a business deal and you'll be able to see the body language right away and you'll be like, wait a minute, I thought we were going to have a deal here. Based on this, we don't even have a deal yet. What's going on? It's not worth my time. See you guys later. And they'll say, wait, come back. How did you know? And you say, I know. I can read you guys. All right then. We've got a deal. We're going to move forward because we were going to come in here and try to jerk you around and get a better price, but it's not going to work. We can tell that. Now, stuff like that's not going to happen every day, but think when it does, you're going to be so happy that you dedicated the time and a few $100 to learning about this skill and learning the skill and putting it to use. So, you've learned all these signs. You know what? If you want, I encourage you to go through, start at episode 1 again, boom, listen to them all again. Keep learning, keep listening. Listen to them on double speed now, so it only takes 7.5 minutes instead of 15. Get that skill wrapped into your mind and put it in there over and over. Learn to recognize these signs. Watch for these patterns and these clusters of behavior, because seeing these signs is not enough. You need to see the signs, you need to see multiple signs, you need to bundle them together into a pattern and a cluster of behavior, and then use that to determine that, hey, I know that that person's lying. I don't know what their lie is yet, but I know they're lying. So now I need to dig deeper into their story and find out where this lie is happening, and then I will know what the lie is, and I can call them out on that lie. Because remember, not every lie needs to be called out. You just need to get into where they're lying, find the threads, pull those threads, see which gets stuck and which can unravel, and that's what you're going for. Liars will always display more than one sign. There is a battle going on between the conscious and the unconscious. The conscious is telling those lies. The unconscious is leaking sign after sign to push the truth. So as long as the conscious is lying, the unconscious is going to be leaking body language, deception tips, all kinds of stuff are going to come out, and it's your job to see them and notice them. You need to make these signs a part of your conscious so that when they're unconsciously leaked, your unconscious now is part of the conscious and it notices them, serves them up to your conscious, and bam, you will no longer be taken advantage of by lies. So again, I want to thank you so much for listening to the Deception Tips podcast. I really hope that you do. Share it with your friends. Subscribing to the feed at this point, it really isn't going to help, but do it anyway. Check out the videos. Those are going to help a lot. The blog, and take a look at the books I have available. And sadly, you're not going to tune in next week for a new tip, but I want you to tune in one more week because I've got a special message for you. So tune in next week, one last time.